Historic flooding continues in China. We're going to look at the location of their reactors. We're going to look at live maps. I'm going to share with you the latest updates. Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear League Project, how the heck are you? Thank you for joining us this edition. The flooding and historic rainfall that is continuing to torment China and India and Indonesia and Japan and Nepal. Even places in South Korea are getting hammered. It's really bad out there. Well, we're going to look at the locations that the reactors are on the coast. I'm also going to share with you the flooding projection maps that have been presented before in China, and they seem to overlap just a little too much to make me feel secure about the safety of these reactors, especially with the rainfall and the flooding that's going on out there. Now, China is known for flooding. So I'm going to share some data about that with you in a moment. We are also going to look at the news that says it's climate change. You know, where's Al? Has anybody seen Al? I sure do love Al. Live updates from CGTN, China's National Observatory, has issued a blue alert for rainstorms. Recently, Wuhan and surrounding areas issued a red alert. Now, there's a 4-tier system. Blue is at the bottom, red is at the top of the alert system. So from Sunday night to Monday night, heavy rains and rainstorms are expected to hit parts of Heilongjiang, Xi'an, Liaoning, Guizhou, Guangxi, Yunnan, and Tibet, from the country's northeastern down to the southern and southwestern parts, as well as areas south of the Yangtze River. So this is available via National Meteorological Center data. 31st, 23.85 million people have been affected due to floods in 24 provincial regions, the Ministry of Emergency Management said just yesterday. Now, since early June, the water levels of 433 rivers in China have risen over the danger mark, with 33 of them rising to historical highs, the Ministry of Water Resources said. Now, interesting, the number 33 there twice. I would also like to thank my friends over at boomerboost.com. I've got a link for you in the video description box. I've been taking this Gladiator barley. It is amazing. It goes back thousands of years. It's actually an heirloom seed that's grown in a specific fashion for maximum results, and you're going to notice results. I mean, at least I did. I guess I can't speak for you. You're going to have to try it first. So I love this stuff. It is amazing. Check it out, boomerboost.com. They have a plethora of products that helps with everything from your stomach to your skin. You'll be glad you did. Boomerboost.com. They'll even talk to you. They like to help people. They really enjoy helping people. And if you've ever listened to Bob on the show before, he's a friend of mine. He's a regular on Lead Project. He knows his stuff. He's very knowledgeable. Okay, now let me get to the map. Here we go. I put this one together from 2 different maps. So this is showing you the nuclear power plants in China, as well as the regions that are considered to be flood hazards. And you can look at the serious flood-prone areas versus other areas. The serious-prone areas almost match up with the majority of these reactors that are on the coast in China. So let's zoom in here just a little bit. Put it into perspective. Notice the red along the coastal line there. Boom, let's go over here. What's this one? Hongyanhe. Then look at all the ones below. Right off the coast, some by Shanghai. And then look at the red along the coast, and also look at this big blob right here. Now, let's take a look at some more data that I'd like to share with you that makes me just question the situation here. So 23.85 million affected since July as floods batter South China, CGTN. Wuhan issues red alert. This was 12 days ago. And the waters out there in China continue to rise. Now, China's ambassador blames strength in U.S. military presence of undermining stable situation in South China Sea. Well, that's the ambassador's job, I'm sure, to say that. However, who's really causing the most opportunities here? But let's just read the data real quick. China's ambassador blames strength in U.S. military presence. Now, with that being said, Chinese ambassador to the United States said the strength in U.S. military presence in the South China Sea has undermined the situation in the region. Actually, without outside interference, the situation in the region was cooling down. It was quite stable. Well, yeah, it was, because you could do whatever you wanted out there. Duh.
Yeah, you go, well, I mean, when people were out here, we didn't have any problems because we could just do whatever we wanted. But now that there's somebody else that has a opposing faction in force, that's keeping the balance here a bit, now things are heating up.
I want to show you the floods. Let's look at the flooding right now. Terrible. That is bad. Let's take a look at that again. It's almost done. So much water. No wonder back in 97 there were treaties presented to avoid weather warfare. Because look at what the weather can do. Whether or not that it's being controlled by an artificial force, or this is just natural, or maybe a combination of the two, it's no wonder. The weather is, if you control the weather, you control the earth. You control the crops, you control societies and civilizations and who eats and who drinks based upon the production of the weather. So look at all these reactors. Now let's take a look. You can see the majority of them are on the coast here. Let's take a look at this live map. This is a live map from Ventu Sky. And we're going to zoom in here a bit. This is the precipitation maps over the next 3 hours, the projections. Japan, look at this massive storm on each side of Japan. Japan's been getting plummeted. South Korea is getting hit really hard right now, you can see. And let's go look at China here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So Shanghai, this area, you can see the projections over the next 3 hours. Now, if you got this real dark burgundy, that's 2 inches. And you get here, South Korea. Now, there are reactors in South Korea as well. If there are, they'd probably be on the coast too, right? Taiwan seems to be doing okay right now. I wish we could see some live cameras of what it's like out there. I mean, there's more cameras in China than anywhere in the world. It'd be nice if we could tap into those cameras and see the streets and how much damage there actually is. How does a nation so large with so many cameras prevent those cameras from being seen around the world? Man, that's some hardcore security right there. Look at the thunderstorms. Now let's go look at this real quick. UN Spider 2012, flood risk mapping in China. Large flood events in China, macro scale region flood risk assessment, micro scale region flood risk assessment, practice of flood risk mapping. But here's what's interesting. The general concept of flood disasters in China before 1949, flood disasters occurred once in every 2 years. After 1949, annually, 9.3 million, it's a measurement for acres, of farmland inundated, 3,700 people killed each year after 1949. This will show you the different river basins, the flood events in China, different timelines. So it's not like it's anything new either, even though this is historical flooding. Actually, we need to go back and look at some of these. Let me share some more information with you from Wikipedia. 2020, starting on or shortly before June 4th, heavy and continuous rains in East Asia resulted in widespread floods in China. During June, the floods affected primarily the southern regions, impacting the lives of millions of people. For July, further heavy rains are expected to hit central and eastern parts of China, according to the Ministry of Emergency Management. By the end of June, flooding has displaced 744,000 people across 26 provinces, 81 missing. July, the South China Morning Post reported that about 20 million residents have been affected and at least 121 people missing. As of the 13th of July, floods have affected 37.89 million people in 27 provinces, autonomous regions, and municipalities. 141 people missing or worse. 28,000 houses have collapsed. 443 rivers nationwide have been flooded, 33 of them swelling to the highest levels ever recorded. 2020 China floods have been described as the worst since at least 1998. So you can see the regions here, the river basin of the Yangtze River and its tributaries. More floods started to extend to lower regions Natural causes, artificial causes, Three Gorges Dam, flooding by province. Jeez, let's look at some of the images here. You know, this dam is so massive, it's actually slowed the rotation of the Earth. And recently in Michigan, an entire town got wiped out because of a dam that broke. There have been reports that it could happen quite a bit more with this extreme weather. It's no joke. I mean, we're definitely dealing with some extreme weather, some conditions that are connected to the sun. How much of this is artificial, I don't know. You know, I was on the Weather Channel again last night, a TV program called Weird Earth. And it's a great series. I've been on several episodes thus far. It's every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Weather Channel, Weird Earth. And in Weird Earth, they were even yesterday, last night, they were talking about the geoengineering that's been admitted, Project Popeye, and the possibility of it's still being done today. It was very interesting to see that talked about even now in the mainstream. And you can find plenty of patents and data and technology that can, to some degree, manipulate conditions in the environment and atmosphere. To what degree, I don't know. But clearly they were talking about this 23 years ago for international patents, not patents, well, that too, but treaties. Because think about this. Let's say that you are a powerhouse military. I'm just speaking for a nation. Let's say that you're a nation that has a very strong military, has millions of troops, has jets and tanks and all sorts of weapons. But if there's an extreme weather situation, if you cause an earthquake, or if you cause flooding, or if you make the conditions so bad you can't fly, make the conditions so bad you can't grow crops, etc., you wouldn't even need to send people overseas. You could just stay at home. You could just push a button. Satellites, space race, that's the next level. And that next level, in my opinion, could be possibly now. Hit the bell, be well. Thanks for watching. I've got 4 interviews today. Kristen's got this week booked up like mad. So amazing opportunities. Hit the bell, be well, be the change you want to see. Why not?